Story 1. Strictly work from office only? Okay, I'll do that. Before we start, comment at what time you're watching this video right now. Alright, on to the story. Backstory. This happened almost 10 years ago. I was ready to move on from my first job. That company had a really good work-from-home policy, so I was looking for something similar in my next opportunity. Story. Around 2014-2015, I started looking for a new job. I had already spent 5 years at my first company and wanted a better opportunity. At the time, I was working as a Java developer at a company that was known as a telecom service provider. I came across many openings, but none of them had a solid work-from-home policy. I had gotten used to the flexibility my first company gave me, and this was years before COVID made work-from-home common, so most companies didn't really offer it. Eventually, I had to let go of that requirement. I was about to join a new company, and when I asked the HR about work from home, I got the strictest answer I had ever heard. It was a strictly work-from-office only role. The salary was really good though, almost double of what I was making at the time, so I tried to focus on that. I even asked HR to add this strictly work-from-office only clause to my contract. They thought they had locked me in, so they agreed. That extra line in my contract ended up being the key to my malicious compliance later. Once I joined and got into the project team, I quickly realized the team was short at least 4 people. Because of this, everyone was overworked, and people were pulling 60 to 70-hour weeks without getting paid any overtime. I was hired as a replacement for someone who was about to leave, and I was the only one with my skill set. By the beginning of my second week, there was a meeting where the domain lead congratulated the team for their latest success, explained how the project had made the company a huge profit, and then announced we'd be rewarded with a pizza party. Right there, I saw how toxic the culture was. People working insane hours with no extra pay, no bonus, no promotion, just a pizza party. From that day, I made sure to get a locker at the office and left my laptop there every evening. For the first 3 weeks, nobody minded because I was just doing training, knowledge transfer. But once the training ended and the person I replaced left, I was handed my first real task. The workload was massive, easily about 80 hours worth, basically 2 business weeks. But I was only given 6 days to finish it. I worked at my normal pace. At the end of the 6th day, the lead asked me for the finished work, and I told him I was only 60% done. I explained it would take me another 4 days to finish. He wasn't happy and pulled me into a meeting with the project manager. The manager asked what the issue was, and I told him straight up. The work needed 80 hours. I had completed 48 hours in 6 days, so I needed 4 more days. His response: work at home, that's why you have a laptop you can take home. Cue malicious compliance. I apologized politely and said I couldn't because my contract clearly stated that I was not allowed to work from home. The manager didn't believe me, so he set up another meeting the next day with me and HR to check my contract. Sure enough, there it was in writing. Work from office only. Work from home not permitted. I reminded them that I had asked for work from home before joining and was flatly denied. Both the manager and HR were left speechless. Long story short, for the next 8 months, I kept working at my normal pace, never more. When the end-of-year salary review came around, they tried to offer me the option to work from home. I told them I'd only agree if they added an overtime clause that paid for every extra hour beyond 8 hours a day. They refused, so I refused work from home. My teammates also rejected work from home during their reviews and asked for overtime pay instead. After that, pizza parties stopped happening. If you're still watching, means you're enjoying the stories. Subscribe so you can look forward to more stories like these. Now on to Story 2. Not pulling your weight? Then don't count on getting paid. Poker dealers at casinos earn most of their income from tips. After a hand, it's normal for the winner to toss the dealer $1 or $2, kind of like tipping a waiter. If it's a big hand, sometimes a $5 chip or even a $25 chip gets thrown their way. So it's in the dealer's best interest to stay sharp and do their job well, just like a server, because if they don't make money. To keep dealers focused, and to prevent cheating between certain players and dealers, they usually only stay at one table for around 30 minutes before being rotated out. The very first hand a new dealer sat down to deal at my table kicked off the best 30 minutes of poker I've ever had, and it was all because this dealer was an A- hole. Without getting into the details of Hold'em, I won the hand, showed my cards, then tossed them into the pile. When they landed, they flipped over so only the backs were showing. It was already established that I won, and honestly, I didn't even have to show since no one had called my bet. While I was mucking my cards, the dealer started chatting with someone walking by and turned away from the table, which is absolutely not allowed. Because of that, he didn't see me win and declared the hand a chop, a draw, splitting the pot back between the remaining players. None of them complained because they each got about $30 out of it. For me, it was a $90 loss. Of course, I protested, but the dealer gave me a smug too bad, so sad attitude and moved right along. I was pissed, so I called over the floor manager. He admitted the dealer should have been paying attention, but also said I shouldn't have mucked my cards before the dealer confirmed. So I got screwed. Everyone had folded, I was the last one standing, and I'd clearly won the pot. They refused to reverse the decision and told me I could leave if I wasn't happy. But instead, I decided I'd make sure that dealer didn't earn a damn thing. I went full petty. I played like a lunatic. Ridiculous raises, constant all-ins, acting loud and obnoxious but still within house rules. I made sure no real poker could even happen. The thing is, I kept getting amazing cards, so even when people called me for hundreds of dollars, I usually still won. My playstyle was so chaotic that nobody could get into a hand without being forced into a terrible decision. A lot of times I was shoving early, before the blinds even cycled through, so people were folding right away, and the casino wasn't even taking their per-hand rake. And every time I dragged in a pot, I stared straight at the dealer as I pulled the chips toward me, without ever tossing him a tip. Out of about 40 hands in that half hour, I won more than 35. My roommate picked up a couple too. I was betting huge, just to make sure that dealer didn't earn a single cent from me. For that entire half hour, he basically worked for half his wage. Dealers only get paid when they're actively dealing. And after this mess, he was pulled from the poker room altogether. I drove 3 players out of the game, and once the dealer got swapped out, I left too. All I wanted from him was a simple, "I messed up, I'm sorry." Just an apology. Everyone makes mistakes. But instead, he was smug, and that set me off. So I went full cowboy on the table and made sure he paid for it. I took money from the dealer, I took money from the casino, and I took money from the players who sat quiet when I was cheated out of my pot. Then I walked away and never went back to that shitty garbage arse casino. That's all for now. Don't forget to subscribe so I can keep bringing you more of these stories. Thanks for sticking around till the end. See you next time, and take care.